So in this video, for me, it's the 28th of February. And on this day, on the 28th of every month, I take an hour. I have like a scheduled hour every month to keep track, essentially, of what I'm up to. So I have a log, a spreadsheet, and I track my goals. Every month I set goals in very particular kind of areas of my life. So one is professional, one is recreational, as in fun. Relationships is key, really, really key for me. Spiritual, and by spiritual I mean one's connection with themselves. And then I have like a miscellaneous category, just for something random. I'm a big believer in fewer goals than many, because I really think focus is important. I think if you're spread too thinly and trying to do so much, you actually really don't get anything done. But if you focus yourself, you can move mountains. The second thing I keep track of is learnings. I find I learn through experience. I think so many of us do. And I feel that if we take a little bit of time every month to sit back and think, you know what did I really learn this month? What came up for me? What was impacting? Well, I'll be honest, it makes for a hell of a reflection after a couple of months when you can track back through all the kind of the key learnings that stood up for you. And what I find is that when we note these down, we remember them, and we give ourselves a chance of not making the same mistake twice. But what's really, really nice is that when we do learn from our mistakes, when we do learn from the challenges that present themselves in our lives, we move on to a different level. Of course, on that level, there are different challenges and different issues that will come up, but it's a very nice feeling when a reoccurring issue comes up and you navigate it differently, and you immediately you feel yourself moving into a different way of being. It's essentially what life is all about, progressing. And I feel that if we give ourselves the space and time to catalogue the learnings, it's a huge, huge help. The third is money. And a lot of people shy away from money and wellness. I would say to their detriment. Money is essentially your fuel. And for anybody in the kind of the space of service, it's the greatest reflection of essentially the impact you are serving on the world. If you're doing a great job, you're going to be having money pushed towards you. And if perhaps you're not working smart, you're not really delivering an impact, that money's not flowing. And I think it's a really important thing to keep track of. I also think that if you are a conscious spender, as in you are keeping track of what you're spending your money on, it can be enormously revealing. A lot of us actually have more money than we think, but we live a little bit too tightly. And that impacts on us and our enjoyment of life. And on the other side, a lot of others live a little bit too much, and that causes stress and that causes strain. And you might think it might be nice in an instant, but it takes its toll over time. But for me, if you're keeping track of your finances, and that is like, how much did I spend? How much did I save? The saving obviously comes from, how much did I budget for the month? How much of that did I spend? Okay, well, with the surplus, can I save it? If your savings are invested, what return you're getting from that. And you can go as detailed with this as you like, and I would really highly encourage the greater the detail. But keeping track of your finances and really knowing where you're at is so formative. If circumstances are getting tight, you catch it early and you can reorientate yourself. And to be honest, if you have a good month, you can remind yourself of that and give yourself a little bit of bonus, or plan a nice adventure or night off the back of it. I think it's really, really important that we have our fingers on the pulse when it comes to our finances. The fourth is a funny one. I like to keep track of the relationships I have in my life. So those that I'm really closest to, those that I'm close to, and those that I'm acquaintances with. And I keep a log, essentially, of this. And I love coming back to this every month, because as I go through it and I go, oh, these are the people I'm closest to, have I kept in touch with them? Have I connected? And oftentimes it's a prompt for me to reach back out to a friend or a family member. And then I look at those that I'm closest to. And I actually, every month, I just go over the names, and I actually mentally take myself through a bit of a journey of like, why is this person in my life? What do they mean to me? What am I grateful to them for? And it's lovely. I feel really good off the back of it. But it really is a good prompt to foster the right connections in my life. Because oftentimes, just as life takes its toll and throws us down I was about to say throws it down its way, a bad expression, but like as we are living, we can get very easily distracted from those that we're closest to, and just keeping a log and taking a little bit of time out each month to remember who we're closest to, who we want to keep in our lives, and why we're grateful to them, is a lovely exercise. It obviously prompts reconnection, and I'm a big believer that like strength comes through community. And the more connected we feel to those that we're closest to, the stronger we feel, the more confident we feel, the more brave we can be. And that definitely comes through for me. And the last category is my vision. And people sometimes confuse goals and vision. Vision is like the bigger picture, what you're ultimately speaking, working towards. Goals are like the little steps that, the stepping stones on your way to the realization of your goals. And a vision is something that is always evolving, actually, because the closer you get to it, the clearer you see it. The clearer you see perhaps what parts you really do want and the others that you don't. And so I sit with my vision for myself every month. And what I'm always amazed by the little tweaks that come to it. I follow that kind of premise of, like relationships, recreational, spiritual, mental, financial, professional. All of these kind of things come up. Like, what is my vision for myself? How do I want to be living in the future? Where do I want to be living? Financially, how do I want to be set up? With the relationships in my life, how do I want to be showing up? How do I want them to perceive me? I have these kind of questions written out and my answers to them. And it is so formative. It's actually really exciting. It's nice having like a vision for yourself, a dream for where you would like to be. But what I find is that dream shapes so many of the decisions I make. I feel that like the clearer my vision is, the easier it is to get up out of bed in the morning because I know what I'm working towards. And the easier it is to make really good decisions because I know where I want those decisions to take me. It's a really beautiful exercise. And I really do want to emphasize something. I shared this on Instagram yesterday, how important it is to dream big, how important it is to be ambitious for ourselves, because I don't think any of us truly know what's possible for us, how capable we really are. And this exercise of dreaming, of imagining, of wishing for yourself, I think it inspires a difference of thought. I think it inspires and helps encourage us to challenge our limiting beliefs and challenge what is possible for us. And that's bloody important. So every month when I do this exercise, and I actually do get a little bit bolder, a little bit more ambitious in some areas. Others, I actually find myself calming right down and being like, do you know what? Whereas before I thought I wanted this, no, I just want this. And because it feels more true and more authentic to myself. But what I find is that, the more I dream into that, the more I feel into that, the more it helps me show up in the present and the more it guides me in the presence. And I think in a world where so many of us are lost, anything that can bring us a little bit more clarity and a little bit more guidance for going forward is hugely beneficial. So this is one of my personal practices. It might seem a little bit intense. I am intense. It might seem a little bit much for some. For me, it's been really, really helpful. And that is what this whole process is. I always kind of feel very inspired by the idea of sharing the things I wished I knew sooner. This has been so beneficial for me over the last few years. And if I was doing it at a younger point, I know it would have helped me so much. And so if you're watching this, I hope it's inspired you. You don't have to follow my thing completely, but you can kind of build your own map, your own path, and hopefully take elements of this as inspiration. So I hope it brings you some value. And even if that value is like, I don't want to do that, great. That has brought you a little bit more clarity. But I love the idea of just exploring these areas. I think so many of us are so bloody distracted by, TV show or what's going on, our dramas kicking up, that we don't get to think about ourselves enough. And if we only did, it will bring us so much peace and so much clarity and so much motivation and inspiration for going forward. So hopefully this has given you some of that. Please do let me know your feedback in the comments below, or if you want to reach out to me, I'm probably most active on Instagram. And if you have any suggestions, any recommendations, any requests for content, I absolutely welcome them. And I will just look forward to sharing with you again soon. Thank you.